Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with Channel Disturbance. This is a Bishop. It's a tier 5 British SPG. We're on the south spawn of Ensk and it's under the command of the BassmanFromHell. Well, as you can see, it's designed and built on the chassis of a Valentine tank. It's basically a 4.5 inch gun in a casement on top where you'd normally see the turret, and the game has started. Now, Ensk is one of the best maps for the Bishop because although it's got a short range, it's got a very high trajectory, which makes it much easier to hit the enemy because the shells can fly up over the buildings and come down the other side. When he's 5-1 in there but didn't get a hit, there's a Striv M42 over in the field, and looks like he's using that building in the bushes. And a T-37, we're dialing in on T-37 who's decided to move away. So we're going for the Striv. We can't see them at the moment, but we fire the round in. I think the T-37 knew that he'd been spotted. Oh, got a hit on him there. Splash hit for 92 hit points. And there's an SU-100. Pirstet Simu. Fire a round in and get a direct hit. 24 hit points. But he's pulled back. Right, we've got a T-34S near the enemy cap area. Well, actually near the enemy spawn area, I should say. And the enemy Arty's been spotted, but he's just outside range. You can see that we've got a flattened reticule. And the T-34 is starting to move away. We fire a quick round in and... oh, got a hit! 154, that was a big hit. Now, these shells are capable of alpha damage of 450 hit points if they can penetrate, but they can only penetrate 28 millimeters of armor. When he got that SU-100, only 5 hit points, but it was enough. And he's going for the Wolverine. Now the Wolverine is an open top tank destroyer, so if he can get the shell into the Wolverine, it's going to be really bad for him. And he's lost 178 hit points there. And there's an AMX-40, the Duck, the French tier 4. Round out, and a direct hit on his engine bay for 112. It's good shooting. Trying to work out where that T-37 is going to go. We've also spotted the enemy Arty. Oh, he's just been killed by our Panzer Sebsvar. And the other enemy Arty, the AMX-105, has been spotted, but we're still going after the Duck. And that one lands behind him for 20 hit points of splash. And the AMX-105 has been killed. Now, this is an encounter game, and the enemy is now capping with Cromwell in the cap. Round out. Oh, lovely one. 195 right into the side of the Cromwell, who's pulled out of the cap. And he's using those vehicles for cover as he pulls back. And that one finishes him off altogether, 158 hit points, and potentially brings up a High Calibre. Okay, that Wolverine has just killed one of our tanks, the Type T-34. We fire a round in at him and hit the building to try and get the... unfortunately, Wolverine's gone out of sight. But there is somebody moving up. Oh, we got a blind kill on him. We fired where he was last seen, and he was still there. Okay, we've got a Covenanter in the town. Difficult to hit him. The T-37 that we saw earlier, he's moving around the buildings, coming down to the south area. We fire a round in, and oh, just miss him. He goes through the field of view. He's headed this direction. We might have to go to shotgun mode if he gets too close, but he's killed by our M4. There's still 6 enemy tanks out there, and one of them is capping. Oh, a blind kill there. Our Panzer Sebsvar managed to get that Striv M42, the one that we saw in the field. And their Covenanters attacking our Stuart, but there's nothing we can do because he's behind the building. So he's in an Arty safe position. Now we can't see who's in the cap at the moment because nobody's near the cap to spot for us. And they've stopped capping because the enemy are now down by 2 tanks. And here comes that Su-85B. Now we're dialing in and... oh, kill shot! Lovely shot there. Perfectly judged. Just as he came around the corner, bang, a shell landed on him. And the enemy are now down to 2 tanks. They just lost their M3 Lee. All they've got left is their Su-122A and their AMX-40, the Duck. And we know where the Duck is. He's coming towards the cap right now. And we're moving to a position so we can shoot on him. Okay, the Su-122A has been spotted and he's been killed by our M5A1 Stuart. So it is just that AMX-40 now that we need to kill. And he's been seen. There he is. He's going behind the buildings. We're working out where he's headed. He's stopped. Not sure the M5A1 Stuart will be able to penetrate him unless he gets behind the AMX. And I think he has got the rear of him because that AMX moved back to fire at the M4. And he's been killed by the AMX 105 AM. So that's game over. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. And it's a first class tanker for the Bassman from Hell in the Bishop. He also managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He got 4 exactly. And a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he managed to get to 12 in total. And lastly, he picked up the High Calibre. He dealt the most damage in the battle overall. So let's have a look at the team score. Highest damage, 1,457 hit points altogether. The next highest scorer was actually the Wolverine that we took out, 792. And after that, we've got the AMX 12 ton who managed to get 780. When it came to kills, again, he's top of the table with 4. Next high scorer was the Panzer Lafetta, who scored 3, and then the AMX 12 ton, 2 kills, and a number of the others. And when it came to base XP, it was him at the top of the table again. So clean sweep at the top, 685 base experience points. Then the M5A1 Stuart with 585, and the AMX 12 ton with 579. He fired 17 rounds during that game. Got 10 direct hits, 0 penetrations, so obviously couldn't get through the armor of those tanks, but certainly did a lot of damage by shaking the enemy to death. Splash damage on 14 tanks as well. Damage of 1,457 hit points, of which 1,372 were up more than 300 meters. He damaged 8 of the enemy, killed 4 of them, and also got 2 defense points for killing enemy tanks whilst they were in the cap area, or hitting enemy tanks. That was the Cromwell. On the credit side, he earned 29,042 credits, got 581 for completing the missions. Total came to 29,623, and after resupply and consumables, premium consumables, he actually had 5,373 credits left over. He received 1 bond for getting the High Calibre and earned 1,027 XP plus 21 for completing the mission. Total of 1,048 experience points altogether. So pretty good round there by the Bassman from Hell. And it shows that this Bishop is really one of the best arties to play on Ensk, because there's not very many places where you can't hit. It only really depends on where the enemy hides behind the buildings, right up alongside them, and that makes it difficult to hit them sometimes. But a good game, a win 8 of 5195. So if you enjoyed that replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that we'll be featuring in the next video.